Alright, it looks like we are live. Let me just say hello everyone. Hello chat. It's dinner time. Boom. Okay, we're good to go. That's you. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Rich and I am the Hungry Gaijin. Thank you for joining me tonight for a healthy dinner, for healthy cooking, and to watch me eat the healthy cooking and what I make tonight. So on tonight's menu, the main dish is some grass-fed rump steak, delicious, from Australia. We have some bok choy for the salad, as well as some red cabbage and some mini tomatoes. For our carbs, we have some normal potatoes, and I'm also going to have a Mukbang for dessert, but I'm leaving that in the fridge for now. Okay, so some preparation work that went into preparing this meal. First thing I did was I pre-measured the rump steak for 350 grams. That's about how much I want to eat. And then pre-measured the potatoes for 200 grams. Because I'm on a diet, I should say I'm eating in a caloric deficit, I like to measure my foods before I cook them and eat them. So my template for each meal is 2 meals a day, 350 grams of uncooked meat, and 200 grams of uncooked potatoes. So again, the preparation, weigh out the meat, weigh out and wash the potatoes beforehand. I'm also preheating the stove, the George Foreman grill, which I use to cook my meat on. So while the Foreman grill is preheating, what I want to do is prepare the potatoes to microwave them. And what we do is, I've already washed these off, and the way I've learned to cook them is you want to cook them in the microwave. I found that the easiest, fastest way, most consistent. I would do that on high, 10 minutes for the big guy, 5 and 5, and you would flip him over halfway, and 5 minutes, if that, for the small guy. But I would do 5 minutes just because it makes it easier. 5 and 5 on this guy, 5 on this guy. And I'm poking holes in the potatoes to help them cook, or at least that's what I heard on the Mighty Google Sensei. When I googled how to cook potatoes in the microwave, it said it's a good idea to poke holes in them with a fork, so that is what I am doing. Okay, so this big guy looks ready to go, and the Foreman grill takes quite some time to warm up, even though the steak's going to cook pretty fast. So I'm going to put this big potato in the oven in the microwave, I should say, for 5 minutes and get that guy going. I have a paper plate that I use to put the potato on. Makes it easy to cook. The paper plate is microwave safe. So again, put the big potato in the microwave. We're going for 10 minutes total, 5 minutes, flip it over, and then another 5 minutes on high power, which is 500 watts. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now the potato, or the big potato, is cooking in the microwave. Next, let's prepare the salad. Now you see, I have 2 batches of bok choy. And the reason I have 2 is because compared to spinach or komatsuna, Japanese mustard spinach, I find you get less greens for one batch of these, one bundle I would say, compared to the spinach or the komatsuna or other leafy greens you would find in the supermarket. So I have 2 of those and 2 of this bok choy. And to prepare it for the salad, it's really, really easy. Just take it and rip it like that. Okay, now that beeping you hear is the George Foreman grill, but it's not letting me know it's ready. It's letting me know that it has been preheating for 5 minutes. The Foreman grill that I have, when you turn it on, it counts down from 5 minutes and then it beeps whether or not the preheating is finished. So you have to be careful of that. For my Foreman grill, you have to wait until the temperature stops blinking. It will beep, and then the temperature will stop blinking, and then you're ready to go. And you can see for one batch of the bok choy, it's not so many greens. So that's why I'm using 2 of those. that out of the shot. Again, my meals, there's three big parts of my meals. I should say four. The main, that being the protein, the veggies, that being the salad, the veggies, and some carbs, that being the potatoes, and a piece of fruit for dessert, which is also carbs. And people might look at a meal like this and say, well, Rich, you're eating really low carb diet, aren't you? And what I would say is that it's a low carb diet relative set to the standard compared to the high carb diets you see lots of other people eating. Okay, see, now that's a nice bed of greens. Now we're going to take some of the red cabbage, rip it up, and throw it on there. And what that'll do is that it'll add a nice crunch to the salad. What you can do, it's very easy to prepare. Anyone can do this. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Okay, well, put these guys off to the side. You would want a trash bag or something to throw the extra produce, the leftovers in. I don't have one prepared right now, so I just put them off to the side, off camera. I have a table, they're safe there. So you take the red cabbage, you rip it up, and you throw it on the bok choy. I'm not going to use the whole thing, I'm just going to use like this little bit, just to add a little bit of crunch and color. Because as I like to say, for your fruits and vegetables, you want to eat a rainbow of color as you're going. Oh, that probably touched the raw beef. Don't tell anyone, it's okay. So you know what, let's not use that. Let's set a good example. We'll get a little bit more here to throw on top of the salad. And then you can take your knife if you want to cut your salad into finer pieces. It depends if you like sometimes you can eat a big piece of meat, or I should say you can wrap a piece of meat in a large leaf, which is kind of what they do at Korean barbecue or yakiniku here, at least at the higher quality places, which is nice. It provides a good texture, making a leaf sandwich for your yakiniku. Or you can just leave it like that. You can see now it looks a little bit more presentable. That's something I'm working on, is the presentation for my meals and not just how they taste. For the beef, we're getting ready to cook. It's the stove should be ready soon, and we have one really thick piece and one thinner piece. I think this thick piece might take 6 minutes to cook through, and this thinner one might take 3 or so if you want it like medium, I would say. So I'm going to put this big piece on for 6 minutes, and when it's halfway done cooking, I'm going to throw this smaller piece on. Because you can always cook it further, but you can't uncook it. That is the microwave. It is finished cooking the potato halfway. Okay, so now the potato is halfway finished cooking. You can use a fork. You can use your hands if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it because it's hot. And then just flip that bad boy over. And then throw on this tiny little guy as well. And these are going back in the microwave for 5 minutes. Now that is the Foreman grill letting me know it's ready. So I'm going to throw on the big piece of meat and take the smaller piece of meat over there as well, and to prepare it to throw on. Okay, so it's 7:12. At 7:12, at 7:15, I'm going to go throw on the other piece of meat. Okay, next let's add some of the mini tomatoes to the salad. Now this is easy, just take the mini tomato, pick off the stem, and throw it on the salad. And each mini potato, or I should say mini tomato, has a different flavor depending on the color. We have red, yellow, what was this, like purple? purplish, or royal purple, or dark purple, green, some more red. And the trick is you can get these at the Tokyo Store supermarket, but the trick is they come in two sizes. These are the small sizes, which have about 10 pieces of mini tomatoes. And the large containers, although bigger, actually contain less mini tomatoes. And maybe they do it by weight, or the large containers might have more large sized tomatoes, mini tomatoes. But at the same time, I think it might be a better cost value performance if you just get two smaller boxes of mini tomatoes instead of one of the big boxes. Okay. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, I'm checking out the chat as I do this. I have my smartphone open, chat ready to go. You do have to be a follower for 10 minutes to leave a comment, so if you find you can't comment, just follow and watch for 10 minutes, and then you should be good to go. Okay. Take these the boxes and the extra food, put it off to the side here. Okay, and take this extra food as well. Throw the extra red cabbage and throw it off to the side. Okay, and you can see we have the salad. It looks very colorful. It's a little roly-poly, so have to be careful with that. Okay, it is now time to throw on the smaller piece of meat, which I think is going to cook through faster. I shall be right back, and I'm also going to get the meat on from the fridge. Okay, I have my giant mikan for dessert, and I'm now waiting for the potatoes and the meat to cook. Watching that stuff cook is kind of, it's not very exciting, so that's why I have the camera on me. I would like to think I'm a little bit more exciting and fun to listen to than watching meat cook and doing nothing. So, this is one of my favorite meals, the rump steak. It's a fatty meat, but it's also really delicious, and you do need fat in your diet. It's not that I would say, like, on my weight loss journey, something I've discovered is that there's not anything bad, right? I should say, like, fat isn't necessarily bad in the context of a healthy diet. Healthy fat is good. In the context of a healthy diet, healthy carbs are good. It's not like carbs are bad or fats are bad. Okay, sugar might not like sugar in this is fine because it's a fruit, but added sugar to foods or high fructose corn syrup, that's what I was looking for. The stuff that the fake sugar that they add to soda, I would say if you eliminated that from your diet, it might be, try it and see how you feel. And the reason is well, there's lots of reasons, but one of the reasons I eat is kind of like plain, simple, natural food is because I like to eat a lot of food, and I want to eat the most amount of food possible with the least amount of calories. And the way I can do that is have a big serving of meat, some veggies to fill you up, lots of fiber, and some carbs, like through the potatoes, which I find the potatoes to be more filling, more satiating than white rice. Okay, that is the microwave that is done nuking the potatoes, but I'll let them sit in there just for a little bit more while the fan on the microwave is, the microwave oven is still running. I have an old microwave, so when the fan's still running, I don't want to open the door, just in case. And the meat should be done soon. I'm going to go check out the meat. 1 second. I'm going to take my plate with me just in case it's time to install. It looks like the big piece is finished. I'm going to leave the smaller pieces on there just for 1 second more. Okay, perfect. You can see the steak is done. Looks really good. Looks, like I said, the small piece is finished cooking, and the big piece is probably rare or medium, I should say, in the middle. And the potatoes are done as well. So that's how I cook dinner. Simple, to the point, and very healthy and delicious. Let's put we'll put the potatoes in here because I don't want the juice from the meat getting on the potatoes. That's just my preference. So here we have it. Now what we can do is we can work on the presentation a bit. The presentation is something I am working on myself. So not only does the food need to be high quality ingredients and it needs to taste good, but you also want it to look good as well. So what we can do is I guess we can put the big orange mikan right there, have the potato right here. I have this mini potato, and the reason I have two is because I want 200 grams of potatoes. This big guy was about 180 or 170, and I needed a small little potato to top it off to 200. Boom, throw him in there. Okay, yep. And here's the steak. And so we have veggies, fruits, carbs, starchy carbs, and meat. So I'm going to take a picture of this to help document what I cook and eat. And the reason I do that is so it keeps me changing what I eat from meal to meal and day to day. Like I want to eat different veggies on each meal. I want to eat different veggies day to day. I want to eat a different fruit for dessert each meal, and I want to eat different fruit for dessert from day to day as well. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to take a picture of what you eat. So that the next day, if you're wondering, hey, what did I eat last time? You can just check and you will see, look at the pictures and say, okay, I haven't had a mikan for a while, let me have a mikan. Okay, maybe one pick from the top here. And one more pick from the top, there we go. Delicious. Alright, let me, I'm going to go back to chat mode on the phone so I can monitor the chat. All of the, don't think there's anyone watching right now. If there are, hopefully you are and you can join the chat. I will answer your questions or talk or, yeah, interact. That's part of the point here. So now I'm done with the cooking, the healthy cooking section of today's broadcast, of today's stream. What I'm going to do is change the stream over to social eating on Twitch, I should say. Social eating. Because you need to, when you cook, that's creative. But when you eat, that's social eating. So you need to switch the title, or at least the category of the stream up. Let's see your title. Tokyo, live healthy cooking and eating. Tonight's dinner, grass-fed rump steak. That's me, so we shall update the stream information. It has been content, English social eating. It has been updated. So now, let's eat. Itadakimasu. I like to start with the veggies first. Alright, good. I love those mini tomatoes because each color has a different flavor, and you bite and the juices just kind of like pop in your mouth. Okay, now that I took the picture, we'll put out the mikan in front. Oh, good. Now let's see how the steak turned out. Yep, that's steak. That was very tender. That's what I'm talking about. And now look at this big guy. I think he's going to be a little bit sour, perhaps. Mm-mm. Actually, that was sweet. That was a sweet taste. That kind of like dark brown, purplish mini tomato. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. I just typed on chat. That was a big piece of salad. Maybe I didn't cut the red cabbage up as finely as I wanted to, so like I put it in my mouth. So, mm. Alright, let's cut into the steak, the big piece of steak. We'll see if that's how well done that is or isn't. Alright, that's actually pretty well done. I mean, it's a little pink in there. Actually, well, if you look on the screen, it looks really super pink, but it's not that super pink. At least it doesn't look that way to me. It looks done well. A little fatty, but try to eat around that. Mm. Man, that's some good steak. I ordered that online. I got that from the Rakuten Ichiba. The Rakuten's kind of like the Amazon of Japan, even though I do work there, and my boss would hate me saying that, but that's how people, that's how it's usually referred to. Um, just buy the steak on there. It's much cheaper than you can get it at a Japanese supermarket. Much cheaper. These veggies, they fill you up and they slow down digestion so you stay full longer. Today was a really early day at work. I woke up at like 5:45, like before my alarm went off. I was on the train at 6:28. I caught the 6:28 train to work for a company-wide meeting at 8 in the morning. That's early, so I'm a little bit tired today, and nothing better after a long, tiring day of work to just coming home, having a great steak for dinner, having a great, healthy dinner like this. Mmm, my steak is tender. Let's go for the a big red mini tomato. This guy's probably going to be a little sweet. Mm. Actually, a little bit more sour than I thought. Let's go for this tiny little potato. The guy who upped it to 200. Little guy, you took it to 200 grams of potatoes. good for you. Mm. Yep, in 5 minutes that was like pretty good, perfect. It was a really tiny potato. I'll get them mixed up sometimes. Tomatoes, potatoes, potatoes, tomatoes. That mini tomato, I mixed them up again. That mini potato was pretty small to cook, but it was a good temperature, I would say, at 5 minutes in the microwave. Let's try an orange one. Orange mini tomato. Mm. Sweet, juicy, very tender. I like that. I like the orange one. That was good. That's a good piece of steak right there. The camera makes it look a little bit redder than it looks to me in real life. Like in real life, to me, it looks medium. That's a little bit. That's a little bit. I need to cook that up a little bit more. Nah, it's okay. I'll try it and then see how it goes. Oh yeah. Now that I'm on stream, I have to remind myself that not all foods are finger foods. But seriously, if there's like a piece of food right there, and you can't get it on your fork, and it's hard to pick up with chopsticks, why not use your fingers? I mean, your fingers are clean. You wash your hands. Mm. This egg is really tender. I think I cooked it just right. Mm. I like eating steak at home because it's cheaper and higher quality steak than you could get at a restaurant. Like you could get like this is 350 grams. Maybe you could get 160 grams or 200 grams. Pay like $40 or something. And then they're fried up in butter and it's a low quality cut of meat to begin with. Whereas this is grass fed rump steak. Rump steak tends to be leaner, although this piece tonight had a little bit of fat in it, which makes it tender and delicious. But it's not like super marbled, super loaded with fat. And again, it's good to have healthy fats in your diet. So I like to have a lean meat for lunch, such as chicken breast, and fatty meat for dinner, such as the steak. They're good. Once you eat natural foods like this without any rather added flavor, Just food as nature intended it. Food as nature delivers it to you. Your palate gets used or calibrated to this kind of food. So then when you have a mikan or a fruit for dessert, it tastes really, really sweet. Obviously, it's not as sweet as like a sugar-loaded cake or some kind of dessert like that, but this piece, we'll see how this is. It might be a little bit rare. Might be a little bit perfect. Mmm. Man, that is what I'm talking about. Man, life is good. Hard day work, come home, eat some delicious grass-fed rump steak. You can't go wrong. You can only go right. And you can go right so right. I recommend you guys try cooking your own grass-fed steak. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. So I'm doing it again with the finger food, but mini tomatoes, they are like officially finger food. I never get the potato. I mean saving the potato. The juice is not so bad for the meat, so just cut the potato. You see, baked potato, 10 minutes, cooked perfectly. Still smoking. And still hot. Mmm. That's a good potato. It's from Hokkaido. Hokkaido is the big northern island of Japan, and the food there is the food from there is really amazingly delicious. Like, it is known that Hokkaido has amazing food. I went there once for work, but I didn't have much of a time to check out the really quality food. But it was actually reminded me of New Jersey a bit, at least the sections I was in. Okay, red tomato. And that red one's a little sour. Hmm. What I mean is like the roads in Hokkaido, because it seems kind of like the highways in New Jersey out through like if you're going from South Jersey up to Philly and you get on the highway and there's just nothing but trees and forest everywhere. That kind of reminded me of the area I was in or drove through on Hokkaido. Now I'm being cool and sophisticated, eating a mini tomato with a fork. Man, that is some good stuff. And from this shop on the Rafting Ichiba, where I got the online store where I got this rump steak, I actually ordered some more of this, and I ordered a different cut as well. The other cut, I think it might have been like shoulder meat, but whatever it was, it looked like it was easier. Like it looked like the meat section was less marbled and had less fat, and the fatty section was just a big chunk of fat that would make it easier to cut off. And the weight was about the same. Or like the price weight ratio was about the same. So for this steak, I ordered 1 kilogram of it, and that was about 25, 30 bucks or so. Free delivery, free shipping too. Which is nice because they ship it in, of course they have to ship it frozen, so they send it over in the refrigerated shipping truck. And then you just throw it in your freezer, and then the night before you want to eat it, you just let it thaw out, and you cook it up. Yeah, you can see some fat in there. You can see there's some fat in there. I'm gonna try to eat around that. Oh man, that is good tonight. It's again, not that there's anything wrong with fat, but I don't want to eat just like a big piece of fat just to eat it. Like if there's healthy fats in salmon or fish or, the steak, if it's just in there, yeah, I want to eat it. But if it's like a big glob of fat hanging onto the side, yeah, I don't want to eat that. I would like to avoid eating that if possible. Alright. Yeah. I am watching the chat, so if you have any questions, any comments, feel free to post them up in the chat, and I'll respond. I actually have a question for you guys. What color do you think this is? I think it looks like a dark purple, but purple sounds like an odd color. Actually, it's not an odd color for your veggies. If you look at the red cabbage, it's red. But actually, that looks more purple. This looks brown compared to the purple. Let's get the orange in here. Yeah, purple, brown, orange. And I can get used to the social eating thing. Because when I eat by myself, usually it's just I use the shovel method. Just inhale, devour the food as fast as possible. But when I talk about it and enjoy eating the food, I guess on one hand, when I'm talking about how amazing the food tastes and the texture and the deliciousness, then it makes it more delicious, and I'm also taking more time to enjoy it, so I can feel like satiated. I feel full. I give my body time to send, hey dude, you're full, to send those signals to my mind. And this is the last orange mini tomato. How does the orange compare? Yeah, they're about the same orangeness as a mikan. My last green tomato. When I eat, it makes me sad when I get the last piece of any of the foods. man, that was good because I had the crunchiness from the red cabbage contrasted by the squishiness, the juiciness of the mini tomato. Let's try that again. Mm-hmm. That works. But sometimes for me, when I eat contrasting foods, maybe the flavor or the texture of one food would overpower the other food and kind of like be less than the sum of the parts. But sometimes you can combine foods and the taste and the texture becomes more than the sum of the parts. And for me, it's a fine balance. Usually more, I like to keep them separated. But when they do combine and work well, it's amazing. Yeah, this is the fatty piece. Let's cut around that. See, I can't even use my knife to cut through the fat, so it makes it easy to not eat it. And you can see there's a big glob of fat right there, that white piece. I'm not eating that. Yeah, it just looks like. Aren't these? I'm trying to cut the meat from the fat. It's actually just like straight fat. No, thank you. This is just straight meat. You see, straight meat. Man, Hokkaido potatoes, Hokkaido salmon, Hokkaido fruits, Hokkaido vegetables, they all taste amazing. If you're in Japan and you have the chance, I highly recommend going. Well, I've been once myself. I highly recommend if you see the Hokkaido potatoes in the supermarket, buy them because they're from Hokkaido. Next, let's have this jumbo mikan. Actually, I want to weigh this to see how much it weighs, to see if I should have 1 or 2 pieces of fruit. For my fruit, I aim to get about 25 grams of carbs, so about a little more than 100 calories. And where's my scale? Yeah, let me get that for you. Let me show you how that works. So, if you're so inclined, it's actually quite easy to measure or to weigh your food. So there's a scale. You turn it on. You plop it down. You see that's 111 grams of mikan. Okay, 111. Easy enough, 111. And then I actually have a spreadsheet. I don't have it for you guys on the stream, but like I've calculated about how much food weighs and how much I should aim to eat. Like how much apple weight would constitute 1 serving of apples. I'm not too strict about it, but it's good just to check. So for me, I have 1 small mikan is 60, so I would have 3 of those, which would be 180. So this is 111. So I don't want 2 of these, but I also don't want 1. Yeah, we'll try one, and then if I get hungry later, I'll just have some extra veggies or something. And that was one question people asked. They said, if you after you eat all of this food, what do you do if you get hungry again? I said, just eat more veggies. You know, like have another bundle of greens. Have some broccoli. Have like a paprika, tomato, something like that. Because it'll fill you up, and it'll seem like you'll trick yourself into thinking, "Hey, I'm cheating on my diet," but you're just having like more vegetables. It's not really cheating. I mean, carrots you have to be careful of. Potatoes I consider a starchy carb, not a vegetable. But for green leafy vegetables, if you get hungry, like really hungry, just have some. Fill yourself up. I was right. This small piece of steak is really cooked compared to the bigger piece. So about 3 or 4 minutes was good for a steak this size. Yeah, I'd say so. Hi, stream. I would say the steak is delicious. Mm. The steak is delicious, and yes, it is. And now let's try some of this meat con here. This is a large boy. This is a big boy. Oh yeah. I'm gonna put the meat on here so you can actually see it. And grass-fed rump steak, amazing. Better? I mean, if you go to a really expensive restaurant, yeah, you can get better. Or maybe fattier. It depends on what your definition of better is. As far as cost performance goes, you cannot beat eating at home. And I do want to share this experience with people, which is why I wanted to, why I did rather set up the stream and why I'm so enthusiastic about it. Because I've been cooking and eating my own meals for years now, and I used to be really big, really fat. And in addition to working out, it was the cooking my own meals that really drove my weight loss, and to be able to maintain my weight loss, maintain my weight over a long period of time. And so I want to expose more people to, hey, it's easy to eat healthy. You just have to do it, and it's fun and it tastes good. And for me, this is normal. I know some people eat out, or they get like pre-made lunches at the convenience stores or the supermarkets. But for me, what you do is you buy your fruits, buy your veggies, you make a salad, you cook up a piece of meat, and that's your meal right there. That's normal for me. It's still really good. A little cold, not as hot as it was when it first came off the grill, but still good. This is the last potato. Makes me sad. But makes me happy at the same time. Alright, now it's time for the last slice of steak. Yay! Club VIP. Hey there. Yeah, the camera makes the steak look a little bit rawer than it actually is. I think maybe it's the color setting on the camera. I'm getting it set up. It wasn't actually that raw. The thinner piece of steak that I had, that you saw me eating at the end there, that was actually pretty well done. The thick piece, yeah, that was a little raw, but it tasted really good, and it was like really tender, but not too chewy. So I think it turned out just right. Yeah, now on to dessert, the mikan. I guess in English these are what, tangerines? I lived in Tokyo well, lived in Japan for 14 years, and so sometimes there's like food like mikan. It's like, well, what is it in English? It's mikan, right? Then you have to Google it, and it's like it's a tangerine or something, but it's deliciousness. That's what it is. And again, like this whole big meal, I eat two big meals like this a day, basically following the same template, that being 350 grams of meat uncooked, 200 grams of potatoes uncooked, big salad, and a piece of fruit for dessert. And eating that, I'm actually like losing weight. And yeah, I'm pretty skinny right now, but my goal is to get like that ripped, shredded, like single digit body fat. And I've never actually been that low before. And so that's why I'm sticking with this meal template, losing weight, losing measurements week to week, and I'm eating what seems like a lot of food. Like I feel really, really full. So it's yeah, no complaints from me. Got to finish up what's left of the salad here. This is always the hard part, getting the last bit of the salad. Yeah, raw meat. It tastes good, doesn't it? Like when the steak's like raw and medium rare, delicious, tender. That's how I would say it. Chicken though, chicken has to be cooked through. Just trust me on that one. I made I've had the misfortune of eating at a restaurant here in Japan that served less than thoroughly cooked chicken, and I regretted that decision. I would highly recommend you don't go to restaurants that serve chicken anywhere besides super well done. Mm. Actually, mm, Yeah, I do eat my salads. Excuse me. I do eat my salads without dressing, but I'm so used to it by now that it's just like the way I wouldn't want to add a dressing if that makes any sense. And for the longest time, I did not like vegetables. Like I did not eat nearly enough vegetables at all. And one of the guys who wrote the whose workouts I follow and nutrition programs I follow, his name is Chad Waterbury, and on his blog he posted something called the Veggie Challenge, where basically for 1 week you eat nothing but vegetables. Where the first day is just vegetables, and the next day you add in some meat, and then later on you add more and more meat. But it's basically you can eat as many veggies as you can, but you're limiting the meat and fat and carbs just for 1 week. It's not sustainable. It's not meant to be sustainable. And but what I found was, faced with that challenge, I had two choices: starve and be hungry, or learn to love vegetables. And so I just learned to love vegetables. And ever since I did that for a week, that kind of like veggie fast, that challenge, however you want to put it, like I learned to actually enjoy vegetables as they are. I mean, sometimes you can add, how do you say it, like a healthy dressing if you wanted to, like olive oil. What you'd want to do is you want to add some olive oil to your salad. You would want to pour it on a spoon first and then dump it on, so that way you have an idea of how much you're actually adding to the salad. Because if you just take the bottle of olive oil, just dump it on, who knows how much you're going to add, and you might add more than you intend to, or you might add more or less from day to day. But if you would say get like a teaspoon or even a tablespoon, pour some olive oil on there and then dump that on the salad, then you've measured how much salad dressing you're adding to the salad. And olive oil does make a good salad dressing, good, I would say, healthy fat salad dressing, as opposed to something like Caesar salad dressing, something like that. When it not my taste. Something else you could try that I haven't though is maybe just like take a lemon, cut that, and then spray the lemon water on the salad. Lemon juice, not lemon water, lemon juice. You could try that. Yeah, yeah, chicken raw. It's actually a thing here. So I guess Mr. Club VIP, you I guess you live in Japan too, perhaps. Like raw chicken is a thing here. Like you can go to a restaurant, get raw chicken, and they're just like, yeah, here you go. And like I said, I had one very, very unpleasant experience with that. So I would highly recommend you don't do that. Even if you go out to work with your colleagues and they say, hey, come on, we have this great place. It's the best chicken around. Don't trust them. Do not trust them. Don't You can go, just don't eat the raw chicken. Please guys, anyone watching the stream, I made that mistake once. Never making it again. They also have like besides like raw sushi, they also have raw fish on sushi. And besides the raw chicken restaurants, I also just mentioned there's restaurants that would serve like raw horse, raw beef. I mean, just like not even like a little bit cooked. Like the steak I had tonight was at least like medium rare to medium, depending on the lighting. But they would just serve you like raw meat and be like, "Dozo, like here you go," and it's really popular. And it's the raw horse, it's not my favorite thing. Like I like meat cooked. I mean, for a steak, not too cooked, but yeah, raw horse. It's kind of crazy the food they have here. Like you go to like if you go to like a yakiniku, which is a Korean barbecue, you can get like intestine, like cow tongue, all sorts of like just you're in trouble, right? Like when I first got here and I went drinking, went to dinner with my colleagues, And they're in trouble when they're trying to explain what that thing is on the that they're cooking for you, right, at the Korean barbecue. And you're looking at it like, that doesn't look, I don't know what that is. And they get out their little electronic dictionary, put it up, and they're like, that is intestine. You're like, oh, I'll remember that word, so I know what not to eat and know what to avoid. And some water to top it off. Yep, Mr. Club VIP, Mr. or Mrs. Club VIP. I've been in Japan for 14 years. So right when I graduated from university, I came here as an English teacher. And at first it was like, yeah, I'll go for 1 year, see how that goes. And then 1 year became 2 years, became 4 years, became 5 years. And then I had studied computer science and Japanese language at my university. So after being an English teacher for 5 years, I transferred into the IT sector, making use of my computer science degree. And yeah, I've just been here ever since. I love it here, or else I wouldn't be here if I didn't really like it. So it's pretty cool. Mr. Club VIP. Okay, hang on just 1 second. What I'm going to do now is I'm finished eating, but I'm going to prepare my bento, or my lunchbox for tomorrow. So let me put this off to the side and get that preparation ready. It'll be about like 1 second here. Preparation's pretty easy, actually. Okay, we have the lunchbox, and I do need to change the stream settings on Twitch, because when you eat, it's under social eating, but when you create food, it is under creative Tokyo, live healthy cooking, making my lunch box bento for tomorrow. Boom. New description, creative, update information. Okay. I will be there 1 second. I'm just getting the ingredients from the fridge and the freezer. That's red. We have orange. What I'm looking for now is the ingredient. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, that's the classic lunch for me. Okay, so now it's time to prepare my my lunch box, or my bento box, for tomorrow. And I like to prepare, like I said, like I'm on a diet, or I should say I like to eat in a caloric deficit, and I like to eat like meals that match my template of 350 grams meat, healthy salad, and some carbohydrates, the potatoes. So now what I'm going to prepare is a salad, which is the base for my lunchbox tomorrow. It starts with this komatsuna, which is Japanese mustard spinach. Do they have that in Canada? I can't remember. Like, I'm American, and when I lived in America, eating vegetables wasn't necessarily highest on my priority list. So I don't know if they actually have komatsuna or some kind of similar mustard spinach. It's like spinach, but has a little bit of a kick to it. Not too much, but just enough. Okay, so they do have something like that, yeah. I'd imagine they have all sorts of leafy greens. What you do is just take the komatsuna, rip it off, and then now it's forming the base of your salad for tomorrow. Then I put my knife Where did I put my knife? Put that somewhere. That would be on. Oh, okay, here we go. And you can either use your hands to rip it up, or use your knife to cut through the greens like this. So cut them one way, and then use my hands to rip them the other way. That forms a nice base for the salad. If you want to get a little more in there, you can cut them. I like to cut them like leave this much left, so you get a little bit of the crispiness from the stems without actually getting the bottom of the stem. For me, my salads, the base is always some kind of cruciferous green vegetable. It was actually Chad Waterbury, whose programs I follow, or at least his nutritional information I follow, who said, yeah, eat cruciferous vegetables. And I had no idea what they were. So I had to Google what's a cruciferous vegetable, and it's things like cabbage, mustard spinach, like broccoli and cauliflower, red cabbage. I guess because the shape of the leaf looks like a crucifix, so they call it cruciferous vegetables. Okay, so now we have the base for the salad. It's all lined up. The komatsuna's in there. Next, we have some green. Next, we're going to add some red, and this is a red bell pepper. All right, man. I'm glad I'm inspiring you to eat some veggies. Like, let me tell you, if your goal is weight loss, or if your goal is to eat as much food as possible and get as full as possible without gaining weight, veggies are the way to go. And like these form like the base of my meal. And like I had mentioned, I had done the Chad Waterbury 1 week veggie fast, and there's meat in there towards the end, but just like 1 week where it's like hunger or vegetables, and you just buy a boatload of vegetables at your supermarket, and then you get hungry and it's like, well, I'm going to eat some plain boring vegetables, and then by the end of the week you learn to appreciate them, you learn to love them. And when you eat kind of like natural, how do I say it, food without like the added sauces or the added flavors, you just eat them naturally. Once you do that for a week or 2 weeks or however long it takes, and your palate gets kind of calibrated to eating natural foods, then they start to taste really delicious, and you can taste the small differences in the flavors. Like for me, the red bell peppers taste a little bit heavier, I would say, whereas the orange bell peppers taste a little bit sweeter, and the other ones don't really have much flavor at all, so I don't really eat them so much. Yeah, orange bell pepper is amazing, and sometimes I will grill them up, sometimes just eat them raw. It's like, yeah, if you have a fridge full of veggies, that's a bell pepper that's been sacrificed for the sake of tomorrow's lunch. Then if you have a fridge full of veggies like that, then you're good to go. You get hungry, you go to the fridge, you get some veggies, you eat them, and it's like win-win. Just nothing but wins all over the place. So, Mr. Club VIP, what kind of foods do you like to eat? Are you into kind of like the fruits, veggies, like healthy kind of food that I'm eating? Or imagine in Canada, it's poutine. Like last time I went to visit Canada, my Canadian colleagues were like, "Yo, you have to have some poutine," and yeah, it was really delicious. Like delicious, but a little bit heavy. Yeah, okay, I hear you. If you eat a lot of anything over an extended period of time, it could upset your system. So I do try to vary up what I eat, like day to day and week to week. Especially like if it's ground beef, then I mean maybe the quality wasn't so good. I mean, who knows? I mean, I say vary up. I eat chicken breast every day for lunch. I mean, like every day for lunch. And if my body was gonna get sick of it, it would have happened years ago. Okay, so we cut the red pepper up, kind of push it to one side to make it, how do I say it, look visually appealing, the presentation, right? Oh, pork ground beef. Okay, yeah, I could imagine eating it. Like, maybe, I'm just guessing, that was probably pretty fatty for, like, ground beef, or especially if there's pork in there, tends to be fatty anyway. And so if you have the, how do I say, if you have a lot of that, like, every day, I could imagine eventually your stomach might start to rebel. Okay, so now we have broccoli on one side, the bell peppers on the other, and this is cooked chicken breast that I froze. I actually cooked it last week because there's a butcher, maybe 5 minutes from my house, that specializes in chicken, and every Thursday chicken breast goes on sale. It's 100 grams of chicken breast for 50 yen, which is about like 50 cents or so, about 50 cents, give or take the exchange rate. So chicken breast is on sale. So every week on Thursday, I go there and I get like 8 pieces of chicken breast. And what I would do is I would cook some up, for that weekend, like for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when I'm going to eat it. But then I don't want to leave the raw chicken breast in my fridge for a week, because then, it probably won't be good. So I have a pretty large Foreman grill. I will cook 3 servings of chicken breast at the same time. And it's like Thursday night, go buy a boatload of chicken, cook 3 servings at once, put 1 serving in my lunchbox for tomorrow, and then put the other 2 servings in Ziploc bags like this, and then put them in the freezer. So now, when it comes time to prepare lunch for like the following week, granted last Thursday it took a lot of time to do all that preparation, but with that prep work, I can take the frozen chicken, put it in my lunch box, my bento box, and then I'm done. Basically, my lunch box is ready to go. I still have the potatoes I'm going to cook separately. To prepare the potatoes, again, what I would do is I would weigh them and then rinse them off, then poke holes in them, and then nuke them in the microwave. But that's not so interesting to watch, and I don't have a camera set up to see the sink area quite yet. I'm working on that. And I wouldn't want to really put the potatoes in here. You can put the potatoes in there, but then the ice from the chicken might melt on the potato skin, so it wouldn't be as crisp as if you just brought the potatoes separately. And then just, I still has some of the dinner left over from tonight, but it's okay. It's just some extra greens for lunch tomorrow. Put that on top. Again, if you want to look, that's your paprika, or the red bell peppers, the frozen chicken breast, which will thaw out in the fridge tonight, and the broccoli, raw broccoli. You can buy raw broccoli chopped up like this at the Tokyo Store supermarket. And it's great because it's like 150 yen, like $1.50, which is cheaper than a big head of broccoli, and they cut it for you. So you don't have to do anything. If you eat broccoli raw, which I've gotten used to, it's a great snack, and you don't have to do any preparation. You don't even need to cut it. So it takes up less space in your bag when you go home. It's cheaper, it's pre-cut, it saves you time. It's like I like to say, it's wins all around. Actually, one second, I'm going to show you the one tip that I have for the bento is, like, I will take this to work in my backpack. Even in my late 30s, I still put on like a school-like backpack and go to work, and I don't want this to open up in my backpack. and you can see like this doesn't really have a lock on it or anything. This is a family size bento box, by the way. I ordered this online, and like I looked for sizes for bento boxes. Most of like the normal sizes, like kitty sizes, because Japan tends to be everything tends to be smaller. Like if you go to McDonald's and order like a large, it's like the complimentary size water that they would give you back in the States. And then same thing for the bento boxes. Now I like to eat 2 meals a day, and I like to have like big meals like this. So I ordered the family size bento box, and I even took out the section in the middle that you would like use to like divvy up your foods into like small detailed portion sections that you would probably see if you are to Google like bento box. You would see like there's different sections where you put the different foods. I just dump it all in there, but you don't want it to fall out. So put the lid back on top, and what I do is I have this plastic bag that you get from the supermarket when you go shopping. They give you the plastic bag. Now granted, I do put my I have a backpack that I take this to work with, so I put the food that I get from the supermarket, I put that in my backpack when I take it home with me. So it's kind of like, it's not like ecological to get a plastic bag just to use it to take your food to work and then throw it out, but hey, it's getting a good use out of it. So I put the bento box in the plastic bag, get the air out. Let's see here. Twist it up. Get the extra air out so it doesn't take too much room in my backpack. And then wrap it up like this. And then you put this in the fridge overnight. The chicken will thaw out, but it'll still be cold. And at least for me, I found that chicken is the best meat as far as I guess like cold. How do I say this? Like I used to wake up and cook the chicken in the morning and then take it to work, but that lukewarm chicken didn't taste. I mean, it tasted fine, but the temperature left something to be desired. And if, like steak, you need to eat that hot. Like salmon, fish, you want to eat that hot, like fresh off the grill. But for the chicken, I found if you cook it the night before, or even thaw it out of the fridge, like have it cooked, thaw it out of the fridge, then leave it in your refrigerator overnight, then it's cold when you take it to work. And then when you eat lunch, be it like 11 or 12 o'clock, you're eating like cold chicken, which certainly tastes better than lukewarm chicken that you would have cooked the morning before. And it tastes better than like lukewarm salmon or steak, which you don't want to do. You want to eat that like fresh off the grill. So I don't want to leave the frozen chicken out in room temperature for too long. So I'm going to put that in the fridge. Yeah, cold chicken is nice. All right, I think that's about it for the how do I say it, for the stream tonight. Like I'm finished cooking dinner. I'm finished eating dinner, which is always a pleasant treat, and I prepared my lunchbox for tomorrow, my bento box. So it does take some time to take all the preparation steps, to buy the chicken, to cook the chicken, to freeze the chicken, to go to the supermarket and buy the vegetables. But then when you go to work and your colleagues are stuck eating the food that they happen to be serving in the cafeteria, your colleagues are looking and like, hey, maybe this looks acceptable, or maybe I could eat that, or this doesn't look so bad, and you're like, all right guys, I can eat wherever you want to because I got it covered. I'm bringing my own food. I'm brown bagging it to work. And that is like, if weight loss or like eating healthy is your goal, that is like the key. Is like 9 times out of 10, 90% of your meals, cook and prepare yourself. Then you have control over it, and then you can control it. Maybe in Canada and I think in the States now, there's more like healthy options. It's kind of a thing now. Whereas Japan, I would say it's harder to eat unhealthy, but it's also harder to eat healthy. or I should say, it's harder to eat like a high protein, relatively low carbohydrate diet compared to the protein, right? Like you, it's not like you could go and get like a salad with a piece of chicken breast on it. And like when I go to even like the Outback here, the TGI Fridays, like if I eat out, I would like to eat at a place that has like a meat option there. And I go and I'll say, hey, can I get the salmon or the steak, but could you cook it without butter? And it's like, but, and I've had this happen multiple times, multiple places. Like I'll go there and I say, can you give me this meat or this dish, but just have the sauce on the side or no sauce? And the person serving it to me goes, well, if there's no sauce, it won't taste good. And I'm like, that's the point. The ingredients, the quality is low, so you have to cover it with sauce or it tastes good. And that's why I don't like eating out so much. You know you're in trouble when the person serving you the food warns you it's not going to taste good without the sauce on it. And that has, honest to God, has happened to me. And yeah, not much you can do. Alright, anyways, Mr. Club VIP, it was nice talking with you. What do you have planned today? I'd imagine you're just like waking up in Canada now. Let me I can actually start cleaning this up and keep talking. Not that the Oh, you stayed up all night. I guess if you're on Twitch, then maybe perhaps playing video games, staying up all night. I guess this isn't the creative much. It's more like clean up. So I guess this is social. Yeah, I'm relatively new to this streaming thing, so I want to make sure when you switch. No, there's no social. Just like talking. So. Something like that. All right, I'll trust you on it. Anyways, it was nice talking with you. My schedule for streaming is, well, tomorrow is Tuesday Japanese time, and Wednesday the day after that I actually have commitments after work, so I won't be able to stream on time. I might stream my lunchbox bento preparation, but that's probably going to be very similar to what it was tonight. But on Thursday and Friday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to stream at, what time does it start? 7 p.m. Japanese time. And what time is that? Well, I can check now. It's EST time. So it's 7 a.m. now. So that would be 6 a.m. EST time is when I'm going to stream dinner preparation, healthy cooking, and then the social eating after that. And then on Saturday and Sunday Japanese time, I'm also going to stream cooking and eating lunch as well, which will be at 11 o'clock a.m. Japanese time. And I should have a graphic on my channel that has a schedule up there. I made it myself, so it doesn't look that amazing, but it should serve the job. Serve the job. So if you find yourself staying up all night again, and want to watch some cooking and some eating, please feel free to tune in again. Okay, please write it down. But again, if you just check the channel, my channel's name is the Hungry Gaijin. Gaijin is a Japanese word for foreigner, like non-Japanese person. And so I thought it was kind of a cool name because the food sizes here in Japan, they're so, like if you eat out, it can be really small, like until you get used to it. And then when you go back to the States or Canada and go out to a restaurant, the serving size is like gigantic. So I thought it would be cool, like, yeah, I'm the starving gaijin. I came to Japan and I lost all this weight because I can't find any food to eat. But even though it's I'm actually eating my own food, it's I still like the way it sounds. Alright, well, thank you. I'm glad you found it very pleasant. It's again, my motivation for this is I used to be like a really big, really like fat guy. I used to weigh 105 kilograms, which is 230 pounds. That's a lot. I'm 5'10", was at 174 centimeters or so. So I was a big dude. And just by the biggest thing to help me lose and maintain weight is through my diet. And when I have guests over, when I have friends over, and I cook for them and serve them the food like I had tonight, they say it's delicious because it's fruits, veggies, and meat and fish. You can't go wrong with that. But at the same time, in their day-to-day lives, that's not what they would choose to eat because that choice isn't readily available. So I feel pretty passionate, I think, as you can tell, about cooking healthy food, preparing food, and eating food, and eating like the healthy food that I prepare. And because I feel so passionate about that, I guess on one hand I don't really eat out so much, so I kind of lose that social aspect. But when I heard that Twitch had started to allow people to blog, or I guess stream live eating, I'm like, hey, that sounds like a great idea because that's something I do anyway. And then one of my friends suggested, why don't you actually do the cooking as well? Because I would be interested in the cooking more so than watching you eat. Like, yeah, that's because the cooking is kind of like the creative process. And for me, when I started, like, I had no idea how to cook, like none. And it took me a long time just to get used to it. And it's really not that difficult, especially if you want to eat this kind of food where you just buy your veggies, tear them up, throw them in a salad bowl, grill some meat, and you're done. At the same time, you're eating healthy, you're getting your protein, you're getting enough carbs. It's like that meal that I had tonight was, I would guesstimate, maybe 175 grams of protein from the 350 grams of beef. Perhaps maybe about like 150 grams, 75. No, I go for 175 grams of protein a day, not per meal. So it'd be like half of that. And basically I'm about 150 grams of carbs a day, 175 grams of protein a day, maybe like 30, 40 grams of fat or so. So if you look at it that way, it's not a low carb diet. It's just low carb compared to the high carb diet, which is kind of like the norm or the standard. I just lower the carbs and up the protein. So it's about equal levels of protein and carbs with some fats in there as well. And you stay full, you eat a lot of food, you feel good, I don't get sick so much, knock on wood, healthy, good to go. Yeah, it's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday, Japanese time at 6 a.m. Yeah, that would be Thursday night. Thursday night Japanese time, which is 6 a.m. EST time, yeah. Yeah, that's when I will be streaming dinner. And then dinner, I would say lunch on the weekends, 11 a.m. JST to EST. Google is my hero, right? Like sometimes at work, people ask me a question. I'm like, well, I don't know. But I don't get paid to tell them I don't know. I say, well, I'll check that out. Let me get back to you, right? And then just ask Google, and Google tells you the answers. They're like, Rich, you're so smart. Like, yeah, I get by. I did graduate from university, Yeah, I have a degree. 11 a.m. Japanese time is 10 p.m. 11 a.m. Monday Japanese time. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. the previous night. So Saturday morning, 11 a.m. for me will be 10 p.m. EST. Actually, what I will do is I will modify the graphics for my schedule that's on the channel background when I'm not streaming, and I'll add in EST times as well. Because I figure since I'm an English speaker and I'm streaming in English, more people will be watching me, perhaps native English speakers, than Japanese or Koreans. Even though I did have one Korean guy or girl, I don't know what, because they were writing in Korean and I can't read Korean. But yeah, I'll add in the Eastern times as well. 6 a.m. All right. Well, take it easy, man. Have a good day. Or I guess if you've been up all night, get some sleep. Don't turn into a vampire too much with the wacky schedule. And I hope to see you sometime later on this week. All right, take it easy, and thanks for watching. Until next time, thanks for the food. Or as they say in Japanese, gochisousama desu. All right, take it easy, man.